the ring alerts, does anybody know what's going on? But nobody. And I texted Chris, said, hey, dude, they're broadcasting, but you can't understand a word from the helicopter.
I hate that. All you hear is rrr, and you're like, okay. Which, I mean, stay in my house. And then are you telling me to stay in? What am I doing? To find a guy with a blue shirt?
Well, I know there was one house just down the street from where the house you guys used to have.
Your mother.
Like right across from where
Oh, my
Vern,
mother.
you Vern used to live. House there with 3 or 4 cops in front of it, all with their rifles down. And so they had their weapons out and everything else. So I told you about that one time. They actually wanted access to my backyard and brought the dogs in the backyard looking for somebody. And
I'll just go get on the floor of my living room. Thank you.
Yeah.
well, it was coming up on the ring camera. They were looking in my car. They were looking in Patty's car. They were walking all over the neighborhood. And Dinah's in the hospital, and on her phone, she's getting all the alerts. So she's watching all this stuff unfold. Then when she sees them come up and knock on our front door to answer it, she's listening. So she knows what's going on.
Have you seen the one where they're looking for somebody, the sheriff run up the door, and they ring the doorbell, it's a ring doorbell? And the lady's like, he's in the backyard, he's hiding in the shed. Yes, you can go back there.
Please.
I can see it on the video.
That's fine.
See, I don't have a camera in the backyard. I want to put one in the backyard, but I don't know where I can put one that would be a good spot.
We have one like in the corner, like, I think, front door that sees like the driveway in the front yard.
Mhm. I have the whole front of my property covered. You know.
Two cameras.
One where the gate's at, one where the gate's at, and one where
About midnight last night, he heard some strange noise in his kitchen, so he gets up to investigate. A skunk has come through the cat door and is behind his wine cooler, because that's what you have in San Diego, and is ripping up newspaper like to make a nest.
Mm.
Don't think of babies, but I don't want to scare him either. Right, so he
You
was,
open the door.
yeah, so I guess finally the skunk decided to leave, and then he spent the next 2 hours, she said his neighbors must have been thrilled, cutting plywood out in his garage and putting it up everywhere to close off any, so if it came back in, they would have no place to go.
Well, we have our back door open today and the little group came in the house, and then turned around and popped back out.
I see.
our friends, Scott and Becky, we went to the I went to the restroom because they have a pool, they have a downstairs bathroom by the pool. Go in there and look, and there's a possum sleeping behind the toilet. Oh, there you go.
I remember as a kid, it's in our backyard. And my uncle was a fireman, he brought home some shield, between my uncle and my dad, the shield's in the trash can, scooping it up.
Oh, yeah. We had the dog encounter the skunk right outside the sliding glass door.
Got it?
We had, the skunk got the dog, but it was so close right there that the house stank for 2 weeks, and our friends were visiting us, had to go home and shed all their clothing right inside the back door by the washing machine because their clothes all stank. I know. I'm like, oh, good Lord. Anyway, it looks like we can go ahead and start the meeting. I think is it 6? Oh, it is 6:30. So we can go ahead and start the June 8th meeting of the River Area Recreation District at 6:30. We will go ahead and have our pledge of flag, and Mr. it is your turn.
Stand, put your hand over your heart, ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice.
Roll call, please. Division 1, Kim John here. Division 2, Jose Luis Godinez.
Present.
Division 3, Rebecca Widochi Byrne is absent. Division 4, Edgar Castellan.
Present.
Division 5, Ross Leisha.
Here,
Okay, any presentations or recognitions in the video tonight?
Not see.
Oh, okay. Public comments? Are there any public comments? I am not on the agenda. No. Okay. Okay, consent calendar. Are there any questions about or corrections on the consent calendar?
I move to approve the consent calendar.
second.
All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed, motion passes 4-0. Okay, board action items 5.1. Approve the Area Recreation Park District Maintenance Assessment District Mr. Doolittle.
Yes, I'm actually going to ask Ms. Gruber to provide this staff report, but this is on our annual maintenance assessment.
Sure. Thank you very much. Board members, this is the initial step in levying the assessment district. That's the $15 per residential unit charge. So before you, you have 3 resolution and a draft engineer's report. If these are approved, that sets a public hearing for June the 22nd. And at that time, we'll adopt the final resolutions to levy the assessment. We're going to be levying just over 500,000 this year. It's about 503,000 this year with the maintenance assessment district. And with that, if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Are there any questions for anyone? Okay. Like Ms. Gruber said, this is something we do annually.
That's right.
Yeah, nothing new here. Okay,
Do we have to do all 3 of these motions separate?
Yes.
Yes.
okay,
I will take the first one.
okay, go ahead.
I move that the Board of Directors adopts resolution number 2023-08, initiating proceedings for the Hoopa Area Recreation and Park Maintenance District and levy and collection of assessments for fiscal year 2023-2024 pursuant to the provisions of the Landscaping and Lighting Act of 1972.
Have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes 4-0. There'll be a roll. Oh, I'm sorry. Ross Latham.
Yes.
Jose Luis Ferdinand.
Yes.
Joe Johnson. Aye. Edgar Castellan.
Yes.
So there will be roll call, so I'll try to remember that. Mr. Geddes, would you mind doing the second one?
Not at all. I move that the Board of Directors adopts resolutions number 2023-09, preliminary approval of the engineer's report regarding the Hoopa Area Recreation and Park Maintenance District and the levy and collection of assessment for fiscal year 2023-2024 pursuant to the provisions of the Landscaping and Lighting Act of 1972.
Second.
Okay. And roll call, please. Yes. Ross Latham.
Yes.
Jose Luis Ferdinand.
Yes.
Joe Johnson. Aye. Edgar Castellan.
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0. Mr. Castellan, would you mind doing the third one?
Yes. I move that the Board of Directors adopts resolution number 2023-10, declaring its intention to conduct a public hearing on the matter of assessments and order the levy of assessments for the Hoopa Park and Recreation Maintenance District fiscal year 2023-2024 pursuant to the provisions of the Landscape and Lighting Act of 1972 and authorize the general manager to advertise the public hearing.
Is there a second?
Second.
Do you have a roll call? Yes, Ross Latham.
Yes.
Jose Luis Ferdinand.
Yes.
Joe Johnson. Aye. Edgar Castellan.
Yes.
Thank you, Ms. Gruber.
Sure. And we'll be back on the 22nd to also be approving the CFD rates on that meeting, as well as the final approval for the assessment district.
Okay, thank you very much.
Sure.
Thank you.
Okay, item 5.2, conceptual design services for Park on 37th Street.
Yes, this is a proposal from the Community Works Design Group, landscape architectural firm that the district has a strong relationship with for design services, conceptual design services for the parkland we're in escrow for on 37th Street. The district hopes to submit a competitive grant application to the final round of Prop 68. A couple of the requirements within that grant, one of which being having a essential shovel-ready project ready to go. Also, having conceptual designs for the facility, and one of the parts of the application that's very heavily weighted is community involvement, helping design the facility. So the proposal in front of you is something we've worked with community design group to come up with. This is something they've been doing a lot with a lot of agencies. Kind of a 3-part step that here's the design services will help with the public meetings, take the public input, have any input you need on the grant application should it be awarded, then we can go to the next phase, which should be the conceptual start construction drawings. And then if we wanted bid administration as well. So before you is a proposal for $11,300 for those phases. There is a additional $4,500 option we can pick up if we wanted for 3D renderings based on the size of this park. I just don't think it's something that we need to invest in. It's not large enough to need those types of photos and stuff to share in our opinion. So I'm available should you have any questions regarding this.
What kind of community meetings are they planning on?
Initially, first one we did with Horseshoe Lake, where we did the first one on site. And then the follow-up meetings would most likely be like at Memorial Park or the Senior Center. That's where they're presenting conceptual elements. We'll take public input as to features. The way this design is actually set up is they'll kind of come up with some generic basic layouts, what they call bubble layouts, where this is a green square for grass area. This would be a playground, and this would be a basketball court or something like that. We'll give them some general guidance. And then the input from the public would be, no, we think it would be better over here or something like that. We're not giving them full carte blanche type of a design on this, especially because it's such a small facility. But to score well in the grant, we need 5 public meetings. So may not be all 5 involving committee works. It'd be other meetings regarding maybe setting up a neighborhood watch to help watch over the park and protect it, things along those lines.
And what are we doing about English and Spanish?
That's part of their service. It's available, and they have interpreters available.
Community design, which, okay, good.
That way they know the technical terms.
Okay. Yeah, whereas we may not.
A general translator may not.
know that.
Yes.
I have one question. Colby, have you talked to them about it? At the end of their proposal, it says 90 days, and it's been more than 90 days. Have you talked to them about whether they're still?
I have the email saying it's still honored.
Okay, excellent.
When's the deadline for the 5th round?
It has not been announced yet. It's anticipated late 2023, early 2024.
So we need these meetings before.
We need to have these meetings, they'll start taking place probably this summer. Right now it's anticipated we close escrow in September.
So we'd have to get permission from the county.
We'll get permission from the county to be on the land. It should not be an issue.
Any other questions?
So in terms of when, I guess, communicating this with residents, they would have to know that it's not official, right? It's just,
We're acquiring the land, that's
Yeah.
official.
yeah.
The reality is we have the funds to build it ourselves if we so desire or needed to. But the way the grant has been, the way Prop 68 was designed, it was for communities that are low income and have little to no parkland. And that is exactly the demographic or the tool that they provide to us to use. I think I've shown it to the board before during a workshop.
Yeah.
You literally drop a pin like on the property, and it gives you, they designed it specifically for this, so it'll give you all the numbers they're looking for, the park acres per 1,000, the average median household income, the average age, and one other thing. And it basically, you look at the scorecard and you put that information in, you have to print it out and attach it. But that's like the main criteria they're looking for.
I imagine we're getting all the high notes on that.
We're hitting all the high notes on that. Rubidoux in that aspect scores the best for us in the district. Rubidoux north of Mission. Nowhere else in the district came close. Even the property we were looking on off of Marlette was somewhat marginal on how it would potentially score because of the income. You can qualify in two ways, income or park acres per 1,000. The Rubidoux property, because it's higher density there, scored well either way. The Marlette property didn't qualify in income. It was over the threshold that they were looking for. And we were very low on the park acres per 1,000, not because we have no parks there, but because it's larger lots. so the density is not as great.
I do have a question, with the district moving in and the parkland they're developing. Could that possibly affect the ground on this, or is that far enough out? where
It's far enough out that this would be awarded, again, it's open usable parkland. Parkland of the district is a couple of years away still.
Okay. So just planning and development doesn't.
There's no guarantee that will come in.
Okay.
And the chance we don't get the grant, we still.
We still have the possibility to move forward with our own budgets, but, we want to obviously try to maximize those funds as best as possible.
Do we have meetings again at a later time? We don't get the grant or?
That would be something we would discuss at the board level. If we didn't get the grant, how do we want to proceed and move forward? Obviously, but,
Well, we would still have all the input.
we still have the input.
Yeah, I don't see how that would change.
No, exactly. It wouldn't change our project per se.
Just where the funding's coming from.
Where the funding, where the funding comes from. We have the maintenance that would qualify for it. Again, this is something that, we've had these developments in the area. And there's a lot more development coming within that area that funds are coming in on a fairly regular basis, frankly. That would help to provide the maintenance for this through CFT 2016-1. So.
Speaking of funds coming in, what is happening with the project, the apartment project that was there right next to the river? Because that piece of property is now being used for storage of riprap for the redo of the river levee.
Last I heard, it's still an approved project. I don't know if it's necessarily moving forward.
Okay, I was just curious. Is that, again, a project?
That'd be right in the general area.
Any other questions?
No?
Okay, and do I have a motion to approve the conceptual design?
Sure. Move the board of directors accept the proposal from Community Works Design Group for conceptual designs of parkland on 37th Street for $11,350.
I'll second.
All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Motion passes 4-0.
Awesome. This will be an exciting project.
Looking forward to it. That area's been needing parks for.
I think we'll get a lot of good community input as well. And the last one here, this is acceptance of parkland for Shadow Rock Adventure and Discovery. The board's aware these facilities are already open. But just one of the things that Rick Gallo, our accountant, wants for our documentation is just formally the board's accepting it. Add to our inventory list of facilities. It has to do with our GASB, Government Accounting Standards Board criteria, just stuff he wants in our documentation for our audits and stuff moving forward. Attached here, I'm sure you guys all read through this thoroughly. The bulk of your packet here was the appraisals for each park. But in a nutshell, everything combined was, I can't read that far anymore, I'm sorry. 8.7 million, wasn't it?
8.5 plus 625 plus 468.
Yeah, so we're talking 9.5 ballpark. I don't know what I did there.
I think it's more like 10. Wouldn't it be?
I don't know. 8.5, no, about 9.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, just shy of 9.5. And these are funds that will, that are reimbursable to Lennar through the JCFA with the school district. This was the last one that we approved through the school district. And so over the next coming months, you'll actually see some reimbursement requests that will come for final approval before we release the funds to back to Lennar. So, are there any questions?
Maybe one clarification. This does not include the Shadow Rock climbing area?
This does not include the open space at this point.
Yeah.
There is still, the developer is still using that as access point to some of the city landscaping. And they're still fixing some stuff within that open space. That will probably come to us end of this year.
Great.
I move the board of directors accept Shadow Rock Adventure and Discovery Parks.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Uh,
All those opposed? Motion passes. 4-0.
Perfect.
And big one. And now the general manager's report, and I hear we do have general manager.
Yeah. Sure. First of all, I'm sure you all noticed the rodeo outside. That would be tomorrow night, Saturday night. The first time back here in River Valley since 2018. By all accounts, it looks like it's going to be a successful event. You know, obviously they're still waiting for the final numbers to show up, but resale tickets, just like everything in River Valley, always wait for the last minute. But they're getting a lot each day. They've sold out of their paper tickets, they told me, which they printed 250 paper tickets for each night. And they're well over that in online sales for each night as well. They are still anticipating majority of their ticket sales to come at the door, at the gate. But the livestock came in today. I went over there, made a new friend. So didn't pet them, stayed far, far away, but it looks like they're gonna have a successful event. So we're wishing the best. We do have a booth out there as well as part of our sponsorship package. We have a flag that will be flown in between events as part of our sponsorship package as well. And again, our sponsorship and the district will be mentioned throughout the evening and part of their announcements. So if you haven't already bought your tickets, I encourage you to do so. This week kicked off the summer. Can't tell by the weather, but we are in full blown summer activities. Swim lessons started Monday. Morning lessons are at Rubeville High School. Afternoon lessons are supposed to be at Rubeville Valley High School. Unfortunately, our pool heater went down, is being repaired. So we were able to transfer those evening lessons over to the high school for the first session. The contractor hopes to have the pool heater back, the new heater installed and operational next week. So our second session will move back to Rubeville Valley in the afternoons. Most parents were understanding and accommodating, but we did have to process a couple of events. Summer day camp is going at Skyview Event Center. We had 18 participants enrolled, and today their first field trip was to the Cove Water Park. We've been closed all week prior to this because it's been so cold, but they changed it open. So that was a good thing. And staff was scrambling to what our alternative field trip was going to be for the week. Day camp did not go this week. It doesn't. A lot of times the first session doesn't go, but it'll kick back up hopefully next session. And then our summer youth basketball started practices this week as well. First games will be next weekend, the 17th, I believe it is. So, things are going very well when it comes to summer and our activities. We are registration is going through the roof right now, which is really, really exciting. The other thing I just want to share with the board is we had our kickoff meeting yesterday with Barry Dunn, our master plan. It was more logistics stuff on the administrative team, setting up ongoing meetings, check-in dates. They want to get paid, things like that, you know, making sure that those procedures were all in place. Right now, we're looking at our first set of our stakeholder interviews will take place July 12th and 13th. And we will have emails going out to all board members to start setting up dates for that. And there are the key stakeholders that we're still finalizing our list of. We're also looking at having the evening of the 12th. Yeah. 11th and 12th. Maybe it's the 11th. I wrote that in the notes here. It's
July 12th.
12th and 13th. So the 13th is also our board meeting. They're looking at doing a they're calling them discovery sessions. Yes, discovery sessions, which would be the first open meeting for the public. And this is the input that they're seeking for the development of the questions for the survey. The anticipation is that the survey will go out right after Labor Day. That's what we're looking at right now. So we're moving forward on that. So that's exciting. And then we also had a preliminary meeting yesterday, but more of a planning meeting next week with the architect that we hired for the redesign of the community center. So we're bringing in some key staff, administrative staff, but also some of our part-time recreation staff that work in our programs there, that work the reservations there, that really know how the public uses that facility. So we want their input as well. When we're looking at, how do we redesign these bathrooms? Where do we have the entrances at? What side of the, things along those lines. So we're getting the best input possible for that. So we're excited for that process as well. Other than that, like I said, it's been beautiful weather. The maintenance staff is absolutely loving this weather right now. So swim lifeguards, not so much, but it'll all change in a couple of weeks, I'm sure. So.
You want to talk about shuttle rocket at all?
No,
Okay.
from
What was going on today?
no.
At the regional sports park.
Okay, I have a question about youth basketball. When does that happen?
When does it happen?
Mhm.
Practices or
Yeah,
anything?
practice.
Weeknights between 5 and 7:30, 8 o'clock,
Oh, okay.
Monday through Thursday. And then our oldest division plays games Friday nights. And then the rest of the divisions play Saturday mornings.
Okay.
And this is our summer session, which is typically smaller than our winter session.
Okay. I also had a question. Are we the ones that put up the signs at the entrance to Centennial about?
Nope.
Okay, when are those going down then?
We'll be talking about that.
Okay,
We know some the other day.
because they're not attractive.
No.
It's not the kind of thing I would think. Oh, I didn't. think so. There are signs at Centennial that say children play here, pick up after your dog, and just a picture of a pooping dog. It's just not, I didn't think it was a sign that we had put up.
We have one of the new youth leagues that are using Centennial, so youth soccer league.
Mhm.
We completely understand where they're coming from. There's a couple residents that think that's their private dog park there at Centennial. And that their animals run free and don't clean them up after. I think that's what yeah, it just went up the other day, so they should be coming down.
Maybe further in.
Yes.
Like that, or maybe
That's what we
someone could
talked about.
address the residents.
Not at
themselves.
the school traffic and everybody driving up and down Camino Real.
Okay. Thank you for letting me know. Board comments, Mr. Kessel?
Yeah, excited about the whole master plan process kicking off, so looking forward to it. I think layers going on with that with the residents, taking a resident input, and then I believe we're also going to get input as well, right?
Correct.
So,
The board will be some of the very first
yeah,
interviews.
so excited about that, and also about the funding for the potential parking in Greenwood as well. Excited for those, and yeah, and also the concerts in the park series.
Thank you, Liz. It just popped in my head. Next week, that's first cuts in the park.
Yeah, yeah, so that's next Tuesday, right? There for that one, especially that one. So, that's it.
Okay, Mr. Legion?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the whole summer, actually. I mean, the rodeo, the concerts in the park, the 3rd of July. This is, my favorite time of year here to get through all this. Just looking forward to attending everything I can attend. That's it.
Mrs. Byrne is not here. Mr. Godinez?
Yes, I'm also excited for the summer. Fortunately, it gets to be off because of my work. So definitely be attending concerts in the park. I think it's a little historic that we're getting a mariachi, so I'm really excited for that. I'm ecstatic. And yeah, just excited for the rodeo and for everything else. And Parks is full steam ahead.
And I just second everything everyone has been saying. Looking forward to all the different events that are coming up. And can't wait to attend.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't think there were any committee reports this time.
I have one little report.
Oh, okay, Mr.
You guys probably don't know it, but about a month ago, we lost our cattle dog. And about a day ago, we got a new addition to our family. Been-
Hold on, let me make it bigger.
All right, that concludes my report.
Okay,
What's his name?
Pepper,
is it a boy or a girl?
it's a girl, and her body is black and white peppered, kind of.
Right, right. She's adorable.
I'm not getting much sleep right now, you shared with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a baby.
Yeah. You're a braver man than I. Future committee meetings?
As Mr. We did have a park recreation and special events meeting yesterday.
Okay.
But obviously minutes were available. If either one of you want to share anything, we just gave an update on upcoming special events. Parks in the Park, where we're at July 3rd. Getting us through the summer here, and then talking about the updated fee structure will be coming to the board here for approval, hopefully next month. And then the staff's looking at updating field allocation policy as well. And close a couple of posts.
Anything else you gentlemen wanted to add? Okay.
Yeah, just staff went a little more detail about the logistics of the event, lessons learned from last year for June 3rd, and we just to make it better.
July 3rd?
July 3rd.
Yeah, okay.
June 3rd got approved too.
Should I say June 3rd?
Yeah.
Yeah, you said June.
July
I'm like, oh, yes. Are there any agenda items for future board meetings anyone want to bring up? Okay, then please keep in mind that on June 14th, we have our special board meeting. And then on June 22nd, we have our regular board meeting. And Mr. DeWitt, oh, what it says right there. Okay, and so I will go ahead and adjourn this meeting at 6:59. Wow,
It's quick.
we just zipped.
All right, good night, everybody.
Good night. Good luck with your new puppy.
Yeah, I'm gonna go get some sleep.
Yeah.
It's a big undertaking, a new puppy.
All right.